Vaccine trials in Africa for the infection related to the pandemic. With the start of this week, the first human vaccine trials in South Africa, Africa has now officially joined the race to find the vaccine. The large-scale trial of the vaccine developed by Oxford University is being conducted in South Africa, the United Kingdom, and Brazil. Experts say a vaccine is the only thing that will help bring life back to normal, but trials have to take place in many different settings before there is one which is safe to use. Scientists have said that it is vital that Africans take part in these trials, arguing that not doing so could jeopardize efforts to find a vaccine that works globally, and not just for richer nations. But critics cite a history of Western exploitation of Africa and unethical drug trials in the past as a reason not to participate. The first vaccinations to start in Africa for the pandemic trial. Africa's first participation in the pandemic vaccine trial started on Wednesday, as nervous volunteers received injections, while officials said the continent of 1.3 billion people cannot be left behind. The large-scale trial of the vaccine that was developed in the University of Oxford in Britain is being conducted in South Africa and 2 other places. South Africa has nearly 1/3 of Africa's confirmed cases, with more than 106,000, including more than 2,100 loss of life. The country late Tuesday confirmed that its biggest one-day loss of life toll of 111. I feel a bit scared, but I want to know what is going on with this vaccine so that I can tell my friends and others what is going on with the study, said one of the vaccine trial volunteers. The African continent now has 325,000 cases as countries loosen restrictions under economic pressure from citizens who say they have to feed their families. Shortages of testing materials and medical supplies remain a problem, as Africa could become the world's next hotspot. The pandemic was delayed in Africa, but it is picking up speed very quickly. The African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Chief John Nicholson said on Wednesday, with a steep increase in the number of cases and loss of lives. Unless we act now, Africa is at risk of being left behind on the global vaccine, he warned a continental discussion and urged that local manufacturing and scientific expertise play a key role. Cameroon, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and South Africa all have highly developed clinical trial capabilities. Many other sub-Saharan African countries also have clinical trial capacity. South Africa is scheduled to start clinical trials for a vaccine as the country grapples with rising infections. The drug that will be used was manufactured in the UK. About 2,000 persons aged 18 to 35 will participate in the trials. Half of the participants in the trial will receive the drug, while the other half will receive a placebo. The trial will begin with a group of HIV-negative people who will receive 2 doses of the drug over the course of 4 weeks. A group of 50 people are expected to have the drug administered to them on Wednesday. South Africa has been one of the most proactive countries in tackling the pandemic. It has implemented one of the fastest and strictest responses, as well as being the first country in Africa to develop its own testing in laboratories. With the number of confirmed cases still rising fast, concern has already been rife about the availability of a vaccine to less developed and poor countries, particularly in Africa. Helen Rees, the executive director of the WITS Reproductive Health and HIV Institute, said that the vaccine, when found, needs to be made available to all citizens of the world, but conceded that there might and will have to be prioritization in the vaccine's distribution at the initial stages. Obviously, the richer countries and richer areas are trying to say, my country first and all my citizens first. There is a very important global dialogue going on about vaccine access. Last month, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the African countries should get quick, equal, and affordable access to any vaccine and treatment for the pandemic once it becomes available. As of June 22, South Africa, the worst affected country in Africa, reported 97,302 confirmed cases and 1,930 loss of lives from the pandemic. The continent has so far reported 306,567 confirmed cases and 8,115 loss of lives, according to the Africa CDC. South Africa is one of a few countries chosen to participate in a vaccine trial developed by Oxford University as the race to develop a vaccine for the pandemic heats up. At a virtual media briefing on Tuesday, the University of Witwatersrand, Wits, in Johannesburg said that the first participants in South Africa's first clinical trial for a vaccine would be vaccinated. The study is being conducted at metropoles where the infections are high and will most likely be conducted in Cape Town over the next few weeks. The study aims to enroll 1,950 volunteers aged between 18 and 65 and who are HIV negative. The trial will also enroll a group of 50 people living with HIV to examine how well they respond to the vaccine. Participants will be given an electronic diary to record any symptoms experienced for 7 days after receiving the vaccine and if they feel unwell for the following 3 weeks. The Choksi vaccine is one of 5 vaccines currently in the clinical phase in humans, with the studies mainly being done in China, the US, UK, Australia, and Europe. The South African vaccine trial aims to find a vaccine that will prevent the infection by the pandemic. This follows a partnership with the University of Oxford and the Oxford Jenner Institute. The vaccine was developed at the Oxford Jenner Institute and is currently on trial in the UK, with 4,000 participants enrolled and a further 10,000 expected. The vaccine used in the South African trial is the same as that used in the UK and Brazil trials. This is a landmark moment for South Africa and Africa at this stage of the pandemic. As we enter the winter months and the pressure increases on public hospitals, now more than ever we need a vaccine to prevent infection by the pandemic. The trial will run at multiple sites across the country. The Vice Principal and Deputy Vice Principal in Research and Postgraduate Affairs at WITS has stated that vaccines are among the most powerful tools to mitigate life-threatening diseases. Without a vaccine against the pandemic, there will likely be ongoing contagion, causing severe illness and loss of life. WITS is committed to developing a vaccine to save lives in collaboration with the University of Oxford. According to WITS, vaccines have proven to be safe and well tolerated. However, they may cause temporary side effects such as high temperature, headaches, or a sore arm. The world rallies to find health solutions. A South African endeavor for the development of an effective pandemic vaccine is testament to our commitment of supporting healthcare innovation to save lives. Many health professionals are excited at the launch of this vaccine trial, which will go a long way to cement South Africa's leadership in the scientific space. With the infections increasing daily, the development of the vaccine will be the last solution in the long term, and we are fully behind the team leading the trial. Others have stated that this is a very exciting development for South Africa, affirming the high standard of scientific and research capabilities in the country. We wish Professor Mahdi and his team well on this important endeavor as ambassadors for our country. This has been a review of clinical trials of the vaccine that was developed at the Oxford University in the UK in South Africa. These trials are currently ongoing and we wish the health teams the best. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching The Learning Academy.